I think women will a lot of times have more anxiety or the depression, things like that set in and not realize that it's hormonal changes.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will Band-Aid solution that, and really they just need to have their hormones checked and evaluated and optimized. I would say 9 out of 10 women come to our clinic, and their first appointment with me, they will say, I've had my hormones checked before and everything is normal, but I don't feel normal.
Yeah.
Well, normal's not optimal here. And it's okay that you've had these tests before, but we're here to get to the bottom of it and figure out exactly what's going on.
Welcome back to the Law of Cassidy. If you leak when you laugh, have ever felt some sort of discomfort during intimacy, you avoid jumping on the trampoline or during workouts, or you quietly wonder if your body will ever feel like it did before babies, I need you to hear this. Your pelvic floor is not broken. It's just undiscussed. And today we're not whispering, and I'm so excited to introduce you to today's guest. So welcome to the Law of Cassidy, where we talk about everything: intimacy, business, power, healing, and the conversations that most people are too uncomfortable to have. I'm Cassidy, your serial entrepreneur, wife, mom, and someone who spent nearly 2 decades in the intimacy space. And if someone sent you this episode, you are definitely in the right place. So everyone, say hello to Danielle. Danielle, welcome to the Law of Cassidy.
Thank you.
Yes. So no one knows who this beautiful babe is, and she is, what's your Instagram handle?
LadyBusinessRN.
Oh yeah, we're all going to go follow LadyBusinessRN, because after this episode, you're going to be like, I am calling Mason Aesthetic and Wellness. Oh, I should say we are at the clinic today. I wanted to jump here because we're doing this episode, and then we've got Haley on for another episode following this one. So I wanted to be in clinic to kind of be able to show you the device we're discussing and have you guys kind of see the world of Mason Aesthetic and Wellness. So Danielle, before we get into devices and tissue and all the science, who are you outside of your cute little scrubs? I think the world needs to know. So are you a mom?
I am a mom. I've been married for 25 years this year.
Congrats.
So super excited. I have 2 kids. I have a son that's 19 and just joined the Army.
Thank you for his service. That's awesome.
It's kind of been hard. He enlisted 2 weeks after graduation and was gone. So
Oh, wow. He was ready.
He was ready to fly the nest. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's living in Hawaii and doing really well.
So are you open to kind of sharing your story about your children? Because I think the world kind of like would like to know the dynamic of that process and what you went through and how you've grown through it.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. So me and my husband went through a lot of infertility. We tried and tried for many years to have a baby, and it just was not working out for us. We did end up doing in vitro. We sold our first home in order to pay for that. So we kind of dove right into the IVF, and we did get pregnant with our fresh cycle of that. Ended up miscarrying. So that was hard to have sold your home and to have no money and living with his parents and having no baby either after that. So it was super hard to go through that. But we did. We made it through. We had some frozen embryos as well. So we did have some frozen cycles. And that's how I got my children. So I always laugh that they needed to be a little bit frozen first before they got placed. But
yeah, little ice cubes. So, so twins, correct?
A few years after giving birth to my son, we decided there's still some more babies out there for us. So we had another frozen transfer, and I got pregnant with twins, which I knew that there was going to be 2, but actually seeing those 2 heartbeats is an unreal thing for sure. But totally amazing to see the 2 heartbeats and to know that I had 2 little babies. Really sick during that pregnancy, but at 24 weeks, I went into labor, spontaneous labor.
Ooh, that's early.
Yep, 24 weeks, and was totally scared. Didn't really know what to expect from that. I honestly didn't think that Babies were viable after 24 weeks or at 24 weeks. And, but couldn't slow it, couldn't stop the contractions. I was dilating fast, feet were presenting. So we had to have emergency C-section and deliver both those babies. So, definitely something hard to go through. I delivered just locally in Layton. The babies were so small that they had to be life flighted to the U of U, to the NICU there.
Yeah.
So, healing from a C-section and then both babies being whisked away. Definitely a difficult experience for sure.
Yeah, definitely not easy on a relationship either.
No, took a toll. Afterwards, during the moment though, I think it really brought us closer together. I was still in the hospital when I got devastating news that we needed to come quickly. My son was not expected to live much longer. So we got all of our stuff together and as fast as we could, drove down to Salt Lake. This is where I kind of believe in miracles during this moment because we got straight to the UU. I don't know if you've ever driven up there to that hospital.
Yeah.
We hit green lights the entire way up. We get there and someone pulled right out as we were pulling in. We got to park right in the front row. Yeah. There was a wheelchair that was left out. I was able to be wheeled up to that floor.
Because you're still recovering.
I'm still recovering from C-section, but we get there and we were told everything about his condition, what had happened. He was having some seizures and some bleeding going on internally. And we were advised that if we wanted to have our parents come and be a part with us to say our goodbyes and things like that, there was nothing really more that we could do to prolong. So we did. We had both of our parents come up and we were taken to a small room in the hospital there. And I didn't want to see him come off of the life support because I didn't feel like I could do that. But I waited for him to come to me in that small room and they brought him all bundled up.
Yeah.
It was definitely a hard moment for sure.
No, I'm crying. I've personally experienced, well, it wasn't my personal experience. It was my brother and sister-in-law who had a stillborn at 39 and a half weeks. Yeah. And I'm guessing, I don't know if it was back then, they have a pretty solid post-care situation.
That was amazing. I didn't know what to expect.
No
this is so new to me, but I just remember thinking, I'm not going to have like a lock of his hair for his baby book or things like that. But those nurses at the U of U are absolutely heaven sent. Yeah. They gave me handprints, footprints, hand molds, foot molds, pictures. They did give me a lock of his hair, lots of pictures, a small little gold ring that they had on his fingers that they gave to me on a necklace. Lots of memories that I can cherish and hang on to for sure.
Yeah, I learned a lot watching my family go through that. And I'm crying about it. It was pretty remarkable to watch because they had like a professional photographer come in, and I guess those photographers are all voluntary. Like it's just, they do it on, so they have like a group that they can call, and, they spent as much time as they could with them, and they keep the baby in like a cooler. So, but I'm really sorry you went through that. But I think that's kind of turned you into who you are today.
Absolutely.
And back in that time, were you in this career field? Because you are an RN. Yep. So let's talk about your work journey, and where that started. Because were you in that when you were going through this?
I was working as a medical assistant during that time. Yeah. I've worked for an OBGYN for many, many years. So I love women's health. I loved that whole field. At that moment, I was working at a comprehensive health clinic. So we did a lot of like neurological care, sleep study, pain management, all of that. So yeah, it was helpful to have that bit while I was going through it, just because my son passed away, but I still had my daughter who was fighting, and she is the strongest girl I know.
Yeah.
Everything that could go wrong with her totally did.
Yeah.
And we were there 107 days
Wow.
through that journey with her, and she's absolutely a walking miracle now.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, where did you get your degree at? When you became an RN, like what's your school dynamic?
Yeah, so I kind of went about things the hard way. So I did go to Weber,
Okay.
and I got my associates through Weber. I was doing medical laboratory science. I was on board to do pre-med and go that route, go to the laboratory side of things. I did go on a humanitarian mission to Ghana and kind of changed the route of how I was going to do things. I'm like, I need to help people in a different way.
Yeah.
And so I switched and decided I needed to do nursing.
Okay.
To do nursing, I went to Eaglegate College. I got my BSN through them.
Okay.
And I'm currently going to school now to get my nurse practitioner license.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay. So what is your personality like outside of this awesome clinic?
I love everything creative.
Okay.
If I can decorate something, if for any reason I can theme a party or go overboard on holidays or things like that, that's my favorite thing to do for sure.
If I need a party thrower, I need to call you.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do for sure.
Cool. Awesome. And what do you like to do when you're not working besides throwing parties?
Just be with my family.
Yeah.
I do a lot with my family, my mom and my sister. Every Friday we have a hangout. So
I love that.
I like to be with them every Friday. But yeah, just my little core four of my family. We just hang out. We watch movies, things like that.
Yeah. Raised in Utah, always been in Utah your whole life?
Nope, military brat.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was
checks.
born in Montana in Butte. We lived in Great Falls. From there, we moved to England. So I spent 3 years in England,
Okay.
which was really fun.
Yeah.
We kind of jet set it all over around there. And so my parents took us all over the place. My dad and my brother were in Berlin when the wall came down. And so just some really neat things that we got to see together as a family. I think that kind of prompted how close I am with my family because we only had each other in England. So it was really nice to just have each other and focus on each other and be close with each other in regards to that.
So when did you land here?
So after England, we came back here and my dad retired. So the majority of my life I've spent here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you think that was hard? I mean, how old were you when you were bopping around?
We left Montana when I was in kindergarten. So I started first grade in England.
Okay.
I went, and then we moved back here when I was in fourth grade.
Okay. So it's not that elementary doesn't matter because it very much does, but I feel like kids are more like just free willing, like whatever, I'll just make new friends at like that age. I think it gets a little stickier and harder when they're in like middle school, high school dynamic. Well, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah. My brother and sister had to deal with that, but I didn't.
You didn't. Yes. So what high school did you go to?
Clearfield High.
Clearfield High. Okay.
Clearfield
Where
High.
did you graduate?
1999.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So you're 21 right now. Perfect. The math is mathing. Okay. So we're going to dig into a little bit more about you and your work history before we get into this awesome subject. We're going to talk about the like vagina awesome machine because that's why we're here. Okay. It's not named that. We'll give you the right name here in a second. Okay. So how did you get into women's health? So what made you want to work in women's health specifically?
So I think what prompted me to deep dive into women's health is just my own personal struggles with things.
Okay.
So starting with during like high school, I had horrible menstrual cycles.
Okay.
I was in pain a lot. They were heavy. And then once I got married and then the infertility happened, struggling through that. And then after having our babies, I had a complete hysterectomy, ovaries removed, your uterus removed, everything was removed, and I was 35.
Wow.
So to go through that big change too was also a huge factor.
Yeah.
Hormonal changes, PCOS,
That's what I was going
the
to ask.
insulin resistance, weight gain, not feeling good, a lot of depression symptoms, brain fog, all of these things in my 30s.
Yeah.
30s are supposed to be
Oh no, I know
flirty and thriving,
Yeah, 30. I'm 30, flirty and thriving because of this clinic.
Yeah.
Single-handedly. Well, yeah. And I think back, I think even now, like more and more, there's more information coming out about PCOS and like more resources. And I think before there's just like Haley and I have talked about it before. There's just like been like this taboo about like hormones, or even like not even diagnosing people, like basing it off of like how someone's body looks, not off symptoms. And like, that's not the way to roll with that.
Right.
And you think, right? Like if I would have been in this dynamic at that time in my life, what would have gone differently?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always tell Haley, I'm like, where were you? Where were you in my 30s?
She's
I
probably
needed
just
you.
whiling out in high school. Probably.
I know, right?
Okay. So the next questions you kind of answered. I was like, was there like a moment in your personal experience? Do you feel like your situation was almost dismissed or just like put in a box? Like, because that's a question. Do you see women being dismissed? And I see it all the time, and I'm not even in the field. So I wonder if that also kind of like pushed you to be like, you know what? No, I need to really put myself in this situation and be a strong voice for these women.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like women's symptoms get missed all the time, or they get discredited.
Yeah.
And I love that about the clinic that we're at now is we never discredit what women tell us. We're always going to listen to the signs and symptoms that you tell us, because ultimately you know your body very best. And so we're going to listen to how you're feeling. Not just chasing lab values. You know, lab values are helpful and we get that bigger picture of things, but ultimately it comes down to, how do you feel? And I want all women to come here feeling that they are listened to, that this is a safe space for them, and we can really provide them the ultimate care in whole body health.
Whole body health.
Whole body
okay.
health.
So leaning into those women that you want to help, when women sit in your chair, like, are they embarrassed? Is there a lack of education? Are they emotional? Like, give me a dynamic, especially in the culture we live in here in Utah. Like, I hate to shame it, but it is what it is. Like, there is a very large lack of education. So when women are confiding, what does that look like?
So I think most women, I would say 95% of them are completely embarrassed to begin with. They have a hard time discussing exactly what they're feeling, knowing exactly what area we're discussing, like all of their parts and things like that, knowing their cycle in general, like how does the cycle work? Where am I at in the cycle? How does that affect me? How do the hormones change? Like, what happens after pregnancy? What hormones drop after pregnancy? Things like that. I have a lot of women that are like, I don't know if I'm normal. I don't know if this is normal. Just kind of feels like it's taboo to talk about. So they're very hesitant. Yeah. That's kind of how.
I think there's an isolation dynamic too, especially with women and understanding their bodies, because it's so hushed in this culture. It's hushed anyways, but it's extremely hushed in the culture of Utah. And I feel like they're isolated in a way that they're trying to understand their bodies, changes that happen after having children. And they almost feel like it's just them. But like, I wish there's like a painting. I think I actually brought it up when I was interviewing Haley last time. Like, it's not a painting. It's like a sculpture wall of vaginas. Yeah. It is. Have you seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And it's awesome because it's like, they're all so different.
Yep.
And I think women need to know that, like, because I think the world has this like cookie cutter dynamic, and there's actual reasons why certain things happen, and, you know, certain things change, and we're going to get into that. But like, yeah, I think the lack of education and what you're doing and being able to build that trust with women is really important.
Right.
So, hard question. Okay. I mean, because the machine we're talking about is about vaginas. I mean, I know I've said vagina like 14 times, so let's just say it again, vagina. Okay. But it's not really vagina. Like, let's talk about the proper, like, you know, what it really is. But do you ever feel awkward doing this at first? Like, I remember when Haley decided to buy this machine, she's like, what do you think? I was like, oh, you're going to print money. Like, buy that machine like that. And women need it, right? And it's not like surgery. And what made you be like, Haley, I'm in? Like, are we like, this is awkward?
No, not awkward at all for
Okay.
me. No, I have no problems. I have no awkwardness when it comes to examining females or anything like that. Even though that most women are awkward, they're nervous too. You know, that's a little intimidating. And but yeah, low and slow. I just approach it like I know what I'm doing.
Because you do know what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the more they get educated, the more they get comfortable, and then like understanding that they are actually like in a safe space and this isn't an isolating problem, I think is definitely key. Okay. What made you realize how needed this was? Do you have any experiences like in clinic?
So here in the clinic, I do all of our initial consultation visits. So I meet with the patients before they meet with the provider. So I get in-depth health histories and all of that. I educate and I talk about the hormones and supplements that we use here, things like that. And I would say 95% of my women have leaky bladders. They have vaginal dryness. They have decreased sensitivity with intercourse. They're unable to reach their climax, or it takes longer to achieve. They're feeling more laxity, more loose than they used to. You know, gravity, hormonal change, childbirth, things work against us. And so things kind of sag a little more than they should. And so these are all concerns. And a lot of women feel like, maybe this is just me. I'm just awkward. So I always will ask these questions because I know they're not going to ask me. No. So I ask them so that they feel like they can talk about it. And that people always say, am I weird? No, you're not weird.
So how have you been able to come up with asking, personally me, right? Like I've had some of these type of conversations before back when and I still do, but like maybe tell me about your intimacy. Like, do you like get specific and say, are you comfortable? Because you have to, because they're not going to. Okay. So give me like an example of that.
So I just start with asking about your libido.
Okay.
So how is that? Most women, they'll say, oh, it's non-existent for many years, or it's just getting worse as I'm getting older. There's like no libido. It doesn't mean that I don't love my partner or think that they're hot or anything like that. It's just there's no desire there anymore. Or it takes longer to reach my climax. So we go into depth about that. Okay. Is there vaginal dryness? Is that vaginal dryness just noticeable with intercourse, or are you noticing it when you're wiping, when you're walking, if you're wearing different jeans? Like, when do you notice this vaginal dryness? And pain with intercourse, is the pain with intercourse due to the vaginal dryness, or is there something else, more positional pain? You know, things like that. Let's assess what exactly is going on down there.
So many questions, guys.
All the questions.
But they matter.
They do.
So what do you wish, this is going to be like my last few questions, and then we're going to get into this awesome device. So what do you wish more women knew? So if every woman listening could hear one thing from you before we even talk about the treatment or anything, what would it be?
That having a leaky bladder, pee in your pants when you run, jump, sneeze, or cough is not normal.
I know, but the world makes it normal,
right?
It's
common.
Yeah.
But it's not normal.
And they joke about it. They're like, oh, but it's not. Like, there's a way to fix it.
So you don't have to live with that. You don't have to wear panty liners or, you know, you don't have to do that.
Okay. So rapid fire, we're going to loosen the energy up before we get into the vagina machine. I like saying that. Anyways. Okay. Favorite coffee order?
Not a big coffee drinker, but I do like chai tea lattes from Starbucks.
Dirty, not dirty, just regular.
Just regular.
Because dirty's with the espresso. People like me need 4 shots of dirty.
Yeah, no espresso.
And then I'm like, well, hey, why can't I sleep? Okay. Biggest myth about pelvic health?
I would say that having a leaky bladder is normal. Yeah. It's not.
Most common thing women apologize in consults. Like something and I heard you say it when you were answering questions, like they're like, but I still love my spouse, or like, do you think that's probably it when they're trying to explain their libido? Like they almost have to like defend that dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see that with men too.
Okay.
So, with our men consultations, they say the same thing. It's not that I'm not turned on by my wife, but that desire's not there. And same with the female. Like it's just changed as we've gotten older. It's just changed. And so they don't want to open up a lot of times with their partner that, you know what, I'm having this pain. I'm having the vaginal dryness and it's hurting afterwards. Some women that it's so dry that they are getting micro tears.
Yeah.
And so they're getting frequent UTIs or vaginal infections and things like that. And so instead of having to deal with that every single time, I just don't want to do it at all. You know, so, and you don't have to. We can fix that for sure.
That's why I'm like, lube. Everyone needs to use lube.
Yep.
My husband knows, like, we don't go anywhere. We don't touch anything without lube because, sorry, not happening. Okay. One thing that makes you want to shake women and say, you're not broken.
I think it just is whole health.
Yeah.
So I think women will a lot of times have more anxiety or the depression, things like that set in and not realize that it's hormonal changes.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will Band-Aid solution that, and really they just need to have their hormones checked and evaluated and optimized. I would say 9 out of 10 women come to our clinic and their first appointment with me, they will say, I've had my hormones checked before and everything is normal, but I don't feel normal.
Yeah.
Well, normal's not optimal here. And it's okay that you've had these tests before, but we're here to get to the bottom of it and figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah. My dynamic was, you don't need to be on multiple antidepressant meds and 17 anti-anxiety meds. Like I was like stacked. I was a zombie.
Yeah.
When I, finally like opened up with Haley and she got my stuff right. Cause you're right. They do Band-Aid. The world just Band-Aids it. And here's another antidepressant. Here's an anti-anxiety. And then you just realize you're sitting in a taxi in Florida and you're a zombie and you're like there, but you're not there. That was my moment that I was like, something ain't right. I'm present, but I'm not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I always want people to know, women to know, especially how hormones change. So of course you come into me, you're not in perimenopause yet or anything like that. But I want you to understand what happens and what signs you're looking for when it does happen, because it really can come out of nowhere. And I really am seeing it earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
And it can last like 10 to 15 years. And it's really like no man's land too, because you really never know what's going to happen. But I don't want women to be like freaked out. I want them to know, okay, I'm going to go through this. I can't avoid it, but I definitely know the signs and symptoms of a loss of estrogen. So I'm going to talk about it. I know about it. Oh, you know what? I remember Danielle saying that anxiety or night sweats, sleeplessness, things like that, itchy skin, the vaginal dryness, that can be some signs of estrogen loss. And so I'm going to talk about it and we can treat it so I don't have to feel so miserable going through it.
I can share this because it's my story. It was just random Wednesday. And I text Haley and I was like, we got to run my labs. And she's like, what's going on? I was like, I literally keep having like mid sentences brain fog. Like, and I almost was like, and I'm a very high performer, right? I can juggle a lot of things, but this just like kept happening in like the weirdest way. And I was complaining to her a lot. Like, I'm not sleeping. She's like, are you taking your progesterone? I'm like, I'm taking 2, sometimes 3, sometimes like, and I just lay there. And so I was prepared with the knowledge, just like you said, of things that start happening. So then I was able to, get the blood draws done, realize, okay, we got to start supplementing a little bit. And it's made like all the difference. But like, it was kind of eerie. Like, I'm gonna use the word isolation again, right? If I didn't have Haley, I would have been like, am I stroking out? Like literally, because my brain was just not like, I can juggle a lot. And I would be like, what is that? Like, it was the scariest thing. And I know there's women out there just dealing with it, and that's scary. And then they go to their provider and their provider's like, oh, you're normal. Have a nice day. Here's another med, you know? Yeah. So that's awesome. So something we do on my podcast, we're going to do these and then we're going to get into the device, is confessions in the DMs. And I try and like strategically place it based off of topic or whatever. And I know you're going to answer some of these better than me. So that's what this. So the first one says, I pee a little when I laugh. I'm 32. Is that normal?
Not normal, but common. Very common. After childbirth, after hormonal changes, things like that. It can weaken your muscles, your pelvic floor muscles, with hormone changes that decrease in estrogen. It's affecting our tissues. So our tissues become thinner and not holding up those muscles as well as it used to. And so it can cause some incontinence.
And that's why we're going to get into the machine next. Okay. Here's another one. Sex has been uncomfortable since my second baby. I pushed through it. Is that bad?
That's uncomfortable for sure.
No one should be having uncomfortable sex.
No. So there can be the vaginal dryness, and you don't have to necessarily be going through perimenopause. During childbearing years, your estrogen is fluctuating up and down, and some moments it can be at that down spot. And so your vaginal tissue is drier. So intercourse is painful. When it's drier and you're getting those micro tears and things like that, that can add to the burningness of intercourse and things like that.
Yeah. And that makes sense, because I'm sure people listening are like thinking, like, there were times where I'd be like, man, why am I sore today? Right. Yeah. And it's just based off of that estrogen cycle, right? Where other times, like, say you're on a vacation run and you're just like, pounding it out like every day 4 times, and you're like, man, I feel like a brand new woman. But then sometimes you do it once and you're like, don't touch me for a week. And that makes sense, because based off of noted, and always use lube.
And always use lube.
Yep. Okay. So then this one is interesting. I feel looser after having kids. Is that real or in my head?
That's absolutely real.
Yeah.
Yep. Things can get stretched out. So that elasticity of our vaginal tissue will change.
Yeah.
Definitely over time after childbirth, getting stretched out as well. Yep. So remodeling that skin can help to bring back collagen and fibrin to that tissue and make it stronger and tighter.
And you don't have to get it like surgically done. I feel like we should like name this device like Superman. I don't know. It has a name. We'll get to it. But okay, now that we know who you are, we're going to get into vaginal rejuvenation, what it is, because I think that people hear the term and they picture that extreme like surgery. And the surgery is great. I mean, I had Dr. Chitty on here talking about like how he does offer it, right? But like, if you can't afford that, or maybe you're wanting to do something not as invasive, but also that reconstructive surgery does not do internal. And this machine not only does external, it also does internal. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get the machine and dive in. Here it is. What is this awesome little spaceship looking device next to us?
So this is Empower by InMode.
Okay.
So I love the name Empower because it really truly empowers women.
I love that too. That's awesome.
It.
Okay. So what is it?
So there's a couple different modalities on it that we can use. The first one is this right here. Little plug. It's called V-Tone.
V-Tone.
This uses EMS. So if you've ever had like a TENS unit on your back, it causes involuntary muscle contraction. Yeah. So it's placed into the vagina. We slowly move up the energy and it's causing contractions. Yeah. Deep contractions.
It's not painful either. I've done this, you guys.
Yeah. No, not painful. Nope. But definitely a weird sensation. I will say that.
Well, it's like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting because it's like internally, it's like it keeps getting stronger, and then it like almost starts to like push itself out, and you have to like push because it's almost like, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing this. We're working out. We're doing it. And then it's like, oh, we got to shove it up there more. But it is like the most chill thing. I just like laid there, like,
oh yeah,
they got TV. Like we're zenning. It was not painful. It literally had, which this is kind of a joke, but it's kind of true, same sensation of like having an orgasm, kind of. And some people it can actually trigger that, correct?
I guess it could. I would see it more so with the other device that uses heat. But yeah, so with the V-Tone, it's kind of like doing Kegels. Yep. So we're doing like 10,000 Kegels. In 30 minutes. Yeah. So it's like intense and it's going deep. And it's the entire pelvic floor. Yeah. So you can feel it sometimes more in your rectum, more than up front. You can feel it more on your right than your left. It kind of just depends because it's triggering those weaker areas. So everybody's different on where they feel it.
So this part of the machine helps with what?
So that is really going to focus on incontinence. We are strengthening that muscle so that leaky bladder is no more. Also, strengthening that muscle will help prevent prolapse as well. So another thing that can help it happen with us women is our bladder can prolapse a little, our uterus can prolapse, or even the rectum can prolapse into that vaginal vault. So this will help prevent that.
Okay. Would you say it's like laser or like a radio frequency, or what is the like actual, just the like a TENS unit?
Just
like
a 10, yeah.
Okay.
So it's no laser.
Okay.
Radio frequency is more for the heat. So
Okay.
that's the Formavi.
Okay.
So this one uses heat.
Okay.
Heats up to 104 degrees. So it's not like a burning sensation.
No, it doesn't burn.
It just is warm. It
Warm.
kind of feels like you did pee your pants.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. It's
Yeah.
just warm. But the tip of it is what heats up. And then we just place that into the vagina like this. And we go up to it hits the cervix. So I know where to stop. But we go all the way around the vaginal wall like that. That's remodeling that tissue. So doing both of these together is absolutely the best,
what I did.
because
Yeah.
we are strengthening the tissue and the muscle. So just like any other tissue, like when you get facials and things like that, you want that collagen to come back. You want to increase that blood flow to remodel that skin and make it youthful again. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And when you do this, you get your own little,
Yes.
yeah. So
Single use.
yeah, single use, guys. We're not,
Yep.
we're not
Not
swapping.
reusing, not cleaning it, just single use every single time. And we do the inside, and then we spend 10 minutes on the outside as well.
Yes.
This is the part where maybe an orgasm could happen because we're rubbing on the outside like this.
Well, and I remember you teaching me. So what it does on that is, and it was wild, like my before and after. Don't worry, I won't show you guys. But it was like I had a brand new vagina. Like I didn't realize how like it just like tightened everything up. And then you said something that I was like, that's a jackpot for like any woman. Is it when it tightens, it actually almost pulls back that clitoral hood, which helps with everything, right?
Yep.
So yeah. And then wasn't there like a moisture dynamic too that can help with?
Yeah, it's going to bring back your natural lubrication. So with vaginal dryness being an issue, this helps to combat that. So it brings back your natural lubrication as it's increasing that blood flow and bringing back that collagen to the area.
We are like pre-baby vagina look, pre-baby vagina feel, intimacy is more comfortable. Our clitoris is way more aware. So I mean, like,
absolutely,
why wouldn't we just want to like jump in head first and like do this? So another thing I've heard about this device is the benefits of cancer patients. Can you kind of go into that for me?
Yeah. So with our cancer patients, especially if it's estrogen dominant cancer, they can't be on estrogen. And so they have a lot of vaginal dryness. That loss of estrogen wreaks havoc on our vaginal tissue.
Okay.
So this is a way that we can bring back the natural lubrication without any use of hormones. So I've seen it work with our own patients. I have a cute patient that we use this on that was unable to have intercourse with her spouse
At all.
Because it was too painful, and the dryness, it just was too hard. We did go low and slow on things because it hurt initially to use the wand.
Yeah.
But we just went low and slow on things, and it completely changed her life. She was able to have intercourse again. She was able to stay lubricated. Now, this isn't a 100% fix-all.
Okay.
Forever. We're going to have
my next question.
Yep. We're going to need touch-ups.
Okay.
So I really tell patients about 12 to 18 months is how long you'll see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody's different on that. But you're going to need touch-ups. Just like anything else in your body, muscles, you're going to work out. You want to continue that workout. So yeah, touch-up sessions are definitely recommended to keep and maintain that.
So from what I remember, what is the process of the treatment? Because I remember I had to come back. Right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Okay.
Yep.
I'm like, do I remember this right? Yeah. So tell me like the process of when somebody decides, hey, I'm going to do this, what that commitment of coming into the clinic and getting the treatment done. Do they have to be home that day? Like that whole dynamic.
Yeah, it is really relatively easy. It depends kind of what your goals are. So I always start with a free consultation first. I want to get a health history on you. I want to know what your goals are and what the problem areas are so that I can make sure we get the right treatment for you, that we do the right combination for you as well. So it will look a little differently. But with the Forma V, that's the one that uses the heat. We can do them 2 weeks apart.
Okay.
So every 2 weeks you can come in, and it's a series of 3 sessions. So
Okay.
3 sessions. It may require more, depending. That's where the consultation's handy. We can decide. With the V-tone, that's the one that's causing the contractions. That one is 6 sessions.
I remember that.
And they can be a week apart.
Okay.
So it can be up to 2. You can base it on whenever you're available. If you want to knock this out really fast, though, we can do it quickly within 10 weeks. If we want to do both of them, 10 weeks, and we'll knock them all out.
Yeah, I was like, I know there was like a process where I literally was living here. I'm actually already living here, but I was like here. But it was, I mean, I just went on with my normal.
Yeah, the downtime, there's relatively nothing. I have many women that will go to work afterwards. We have a shower here. You get your own little suite here, so you can rinse off, all of that. But it's 2 days without intercourse, the use of a vibrator, or increase heat.
That's the only
So
part
no
that-
sauna, no hot tub, or anything like that, just for 2 days.
No,
So-
no vibrators, guys. Just gotta pause, but it'll be worth it because you'll have this brand new vagina.
Yes.
And you can jump on the tramp.
I do get a lot of men that will come in and they'll be
yeah.
like, whatever you're doing to my wife,
Thank you.
keep doing it.
Oh, Josh definitely noticed the results.
Yep.
TMI. Sorry,
It's
guys.
very,
Whatever.
it's very
You already know.
noticeable.
Yeah. So he was just like, this is awesome. Okay. So loss of sensation is a thing.
Yep.
Okay. So, does this help with like the blood flow dynamic? And is this like a hormonal thing, or is this a structural thing? Like, why does loss of sensation happen in these areas fully?
It could be both things.
Okay.
So it could be a structural thing, a genetic thing, or it could be hormonal. Most that I see, it's hormonal issues. But increasing blood flow to that tissue, bringing that blood flow back, you're going to increase that sensitivity. So that's what we're aiming for. Plus, with, like you had mentioned, pulling back that clitoral hood to increase sensitivity on that as well. That's, gravity, age, things like that. Things fall forward and sag a little more. We're going to pull that back up and tighten it. So.
And it pulls back, guys. And this is all, the blood flow thing is also when people are like, I don't need a toy. I'm like, you guys, it is freaking science. The more you age, like, it actually helps with things. So
yeah, absolutely.
you know where to find one. Okay. A little more like emotional part here. So have you ever had like women cry in consults and just like, am I fixable? Like, and then after, like, what was that experience like for you to?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, we become really close during these appointments. I spend about an hour with you, especially if we're doing both of them. We're together for about an hour. And so we talk about everything, all their concerns. It really does become a safe space, and they open up so much. And we talk about hormonal changes. We talk about our children. We talk about some of our fears of things, all of the things we talk about and address. So,
Inside joke at the Bybee house. I used to do fitness competitions. Okay. It was crazy. Whole meathead thing, spray orange tan, whatever. And we joked like right before the show, like show day, Josh called it skinny vag. Okay. Like I got like skinny vag, but it is a thing when you gain weight, lose weight, like it changes. And so there's probably a lot of people in this clinic and a lot that are probably listening right now that don't realize this, that this will make them realize, oh, I got to call and make an appointment for this, is when you lose weight, things change down there. Can that help with that? Because, when you lose weight, you have those issues on other parts of your body. Yep. Can this help with that dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've heard Ozempic face. Yep. There
Ozempic
can be
vagina.
some Ozempic vagina.
There is.
And things become a little more saggier. So that is going to tighten it and bring everything back up. So we're remodeling that. We do have a different modality on here as well. So microneedling, you know about that for your face.
Yep.
And what that does for your face, it tightens your skin on your face, fine lines, sagginess, things like that. We actually have that for the vagina as well. It's coming. It's not quite available yet, but we do have that.
I was
capability.
like, why am I just hearing about this? Because sign
it's
me
coming.
up.
Yep,
Okay.
it's absolutely coming, and that will go a little deeper in that remodeling. So doing it in conjunction with the heat will absolutely remodel and make things look completely
different. And it's just that collagen production, the same type with your face. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, we're gonna get into some myths. So, is this only for older women?
No, no, no. This is for any age of women. Anybody that's suffering with incontinence, we can help with that. Any hormonal changes, I think it's really great for postpartum women, perimenopause.
Yep.
Those are kind of the biggest, but I've had a 70-year-old woman in here as well that's dealing with incontinence and been life-changing for her.
Awesome. People also might look at this, maybe not after listening to this podcast, but think that it's purely cosmetic. But now we clearly know that it actually, I mean, I look at that as that's like a bonus.
Yeah.
The cosmetic side
bonus,
of it. But the cosmetic side also may be why people want to come in and do it. But I think they will realize, wow, I actually gained so much more than just cosmetic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get confidence back again because it really does play tricks on your mind when you're not able to jump on the trampoline with your kids. You know, every time you're sneezing, you're crossing your legs, or you know where every restroom is in, you know, your mile radius or whatever. Everywhere you go, I need to know where that bathroom is so I can beeline it to there because I have that urgency. I have to go right then. So it's not even that it's leaking, but it's dealing with urgency problems, frequent urination. It also helps women that have frequent yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, UTIs. We are improving that whole microbiome area from the heat. So
yeah. And the other thing, which I'll say it because I say all the things that nobody wants to say, like even down to like bodysuits, right? Like wearing a bodysuit. And I know you guys are watching and listening and be like, oh my gosh, that happens when you get like the lip slip going on, TMI, but like it's uncomfortable, right? You're wearing jeans with that. You got this bodysuit done. You're all laughing, but you all understand. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that problem was solved after this machine. Everyone buys new bodysuits. You're welcome. You should make it like a sign that says like bodysuit approved. Okay. Does this mean something's wrong with you? I know the answer. No.
absolutely
Okay.
not. Oh.
And is it only for women that have had babies?
No, it can be any woman. Yep, because we all go through the hormonal changes, so you don't have to have vaginal births or anything like that in order to do this. So
I wonder, and this is so like, and you can be like, no, that doesn't make sense. But I think another problem we have in Utah is like, there's a lot of young women that don't get educated. They don't have the proper like connections, dynamics. I know because a lot of them came to my parties. And could something like this help with? Would you put somebody in that situation that is newly married, newly becoming sexually active? Like, could like increasing the blood flow, like because a lot of them have painful sex. Mm-hmm. So would that be a weird dynamic for a younger girl to go through this? Do you think that would help or no?
No, I think that would be way beneficial.
Okay.
The amount of confidence that this machine gives to women, it really truly does empower them.
Okay.
And I think it will only improve relationships and it will have them talking about it too. I think if you're open with your relationships of what's bothering you, even when you're barely newlyweds and you're afraid to mention it or things like that, it helps to open that conversation.
When I think there definitely is a need for that in our culture. Okay.
For sure.
What's one thing you wish OBs talked about more?
Hormones.
I swear you and Haley are the same person. Yes. Okay. And one myth that makes you crazy.
That hormones are bad. Estrogen in particular, that it's not good for us to have after a certain age.
Where do you think they get that from?
So back in 2001, the Women's Health Initiative came out saying that estrogen is causing blood clots, increased risk of stroke, higher risk of breast cancer, things like that. It kind of put the fear into practitioners that they need to be on hormones for the shortest amount of time and taken off of that. And it's just not true anymore. And that study has come out that it was flawed and retracted, but the damage has already been done. That fear has been laid and been placed. But I think things are being talked about more often now. It's not so taboo. I think a huge win was just in October when the FDA removed the black box warning off of estrogen.
Yeah.
That's such a huge win for us as well. I know that it's brought in a few patients that are like, I saw that and now I'm ready
down.
to talk about it. Let's see what this can do for me. And estrogen runs our lives. Estrogen
Yep.
and progesterone balanced together. Everyone needs it. Absolutely.
The biggest hustler boss babe was brain dead.
Yep.
Literally, like I was literally like, I cannot complete a sentence.
Yeah.
And I do want you guys to understand too, the level of care you will get here because, and I mean, I'm her best friend, but even in my dynamic, I was like, I think this is off. And it was like, okay, let's test your levels. And it came back and it was low. And then it was like, okay, we need to test again. And I was like, what do you mean you need to test again? And she's like, because I need to make sure based off your cycle and you peak and valley, like she's like, we have to make sure that it is actually low. And the confidence that gave me, because the average healthcare provider would have just been like, oh, it's low, here you go. And getting put on something, if you really aren't in a space that you need to be put on something, could counteract and make things. So I need you guys to know that your care is top priority here, and they will double check, recheck, quadruple check, and be like, okay, now this is the plan moving forward.
Right.
Which for me, usually I'm just like, hey, I need this. And she's like, nope, we're going to cross our T's and dot our I's because I don't want you feeling 3,000 times, I don't want, which that doesn't happen here because you guys are so like on top of it. Like I was kind of shocked when she's like, we need to do blood again. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and then I was so grateful. Right. Mm-hmm. And and then like easing into it, like, it's not like full mode. It's like, let's start here. Let's adjust. Let's see what your symptoms. We're very symptom driven here. We're very like working through that, which is massive. So I'm going to share a covet this, which is a little product blib that I always give on everyone, because hi, I'm that lady. So there's a device. It's called the Sherry Silicone Weighted Kegel Trainer. I mean, I should probably put some in here because this is a nice little workout thing. So if we're talking about pelvic floor health, leakage, sensation, tissue strength, pelvic floor muscles are so important. So this is a side note, not that anyone cares, but I had a situation probably 6 months ago where I couldn't walk, like my back, like my hip. It was the weirdest thing. Like I was so uncomfortable. I went, shout out to Structura in Farmington. They're amazing. But I learned my pelvic floor is just, it is what it is after having Jovi, and I have to do exercises. Mm-hmm. And if I don't, it can affect things like my back. Like I walked into the orthopedic to get an x-ray. Like I was the Snow White witch. Like I was literally I could not stand up. And now I consistently do my pelvic exercise. I'm here to tell you guys, it's important. Even if you feel like, oh, nothing's bothering me, it can affect your back. It can affect
your whole core.
Your whole core. Yeah. Yes. All of it. Okay. So, this device it's not intimidating. It's not extreme. So it's weighted. It's made from a body safe silicone. It has 2 balls on it, and you work on, your Kegels with it inside. It seems like, oh, that's counterproductive, but it actually really helps in the weight of it. It's a lot harder than you realize. So it'll help just keep things up to par. And if you're doing rejuvenation treatments or just becoming more aware of your body, this is a simple at-home way to support that. And I mean, you go to the gym, you do skincare, and that's what I kind of want to say here. You have drawers of skincare, mm-hmm. You need to take care of your vagina too, right? Yeah, I say that all the time. We were talking about blood flow, there's nerve endings on your clitoris, and if you're not using them, they actually do die. Yeah. So everybody masturbate, everybody take care of your vaginas. It's definitely important. Danielle, you are amazing.
Thank you.
You have just built this world around this machine. It's kind of turned into your baby in clinic.
Love it, yep.
You have an Instagram.
I do. Yep.
Okay, so what's that Instagram so people can follow?
It's LadyBusinessRN.
Okay, so in clinic, a consultation for this is
free. Absolutely free.
Free 99. Okay, so free consultation. They come in. I've done this. Very smooth process. And just come get your free consultation. Danielle is your girl. They will take care of you. And it's very structured based off of your needs. Yeah. So you're not going to be put in a box of this is the fee. That's why that free consultation is important. So everybody call the clinic, hit up the clinic, Mason Aesthetic and Wellness. I mean, do we shout out the phone number?
Absolutely.
What is it?
801-821-4600.
Yeah, everybody get new vaginas. And per usual, the Law of Cassidy, I always share a little something. And taking care of your body is not insecurity, it's ownership. Danielle, thank you for making this not awkward.
Thank you.